6 months ago, we packed up our lives in northern Italy and we headed down to the south of Spain. Somewhere between summer days spent reading on the beach, the smell of fresh bread drifting through the old streets, taking walks down to the harbor around sunset, we just started to fall in love with the place. Málaga is one of the oldest continually inhabited cities in Western Europe, with roots going back nearly 2,800 years. It sits at the heart of Costa del Sol in Andalusia, a region shaped by centuries of overlap. The Phoenicians, the Romans, the Moors from North Africa, and now people from all over the world. Here you can feel that complex past. It's in the culture, in the form of dance and music. It's in the food. You can see it in the architecture. So many things that I'm going to talk about here in this video. If you're not subscribed already, consider subscribing. I talk about life living abroad, and hit that little bell icon so that you're notified when I come out with the next thing. We moved here in May, now it's November, so I think that we've lived here long enough to get a pretty good impression of the place. These are a few of the things I love about living here in Málaga, Spain. The first thing that I have to mention is just that the weather is perfect. They don't call it the Costa del Sol for no reason. It gets roughly 300 sunny days a year. Since I've been here, it's rained maybe twice. The other day, Agustina and I were in Torremolinos. We are back in Torremolinos. At the same cafe that we stopped in May when we first arrived. It was 73 degrees. Everybody had their t-shirts and shorts on. It was beautiful. The kind of stability that I can get behind coming from Pennsylvania in the United States, where actually there's snow on the ground and I'm walking outside in a t-shirt. I'm very happy about that. Usually in Pennsylvania, you're freezing your off in the winter and you're sweating your balls off in the summer. So I don't miss that. We live in the historic center where cars aren't allowed. So we walk everywhere. And every time we step outside the house, we're just like, damn, it's a nice day out today. I've always been emotionally affected by the weather. And I've noticed that my mood is just better here. I went for a run the other day down to the beach. The sun was coming up, lighting up the mountains around me, and I was just thinking, when you're surrounded by this kind of beauty, it's really impossible for it not to positively affect your life. And of course, the sea and outdoor life are a big part of it because of the weather. I love living this close to the sea. It feels surreal. I grew up 2.5 hours away from the East Coast, from New Jersey, which was our local beach, and you had to pay. There's always the beach tag, people coming around checking to make sure that you paid. Here, I'm 20 minutes away on foot. I don't have to drive. All of the beaches in Spain are public, so everybody has access for free. Families are setting up umbrellas. Kids are running around playing football or soccer for my American people. Friends are gathering at choringuitos, which are like these beachside restaurants / bars where they cook the food right there on open wood fires. The parks here and green spaces are beautiful. People spend a lot of time outside, and that makes sense. Why wouldn't you? Hike up here. Highly recommend it. Huge views. Every day when I'm walking around in the afternoons and evenings, I see the same people sitting around in the same seats, talking around with friends and things like that. And it's pretty cool that that's a part of the culture that is very social. There are also a lot of different recreational activities and groups that you can join. Agustina does a Pilates class at the beach. There's sections of grass that are in between the groups of palm trees, and it's perfect for doing things like yoga and Pilates and things like that. We also went to like an international volleyball meetup. We met people from Germany and France, Poland, Italy, Venezuela. All these people moved here because they were kind of drawn to that same kind of lifestyle. The other day, I even took my laptop outside and sat on a bench looking out over the beach and the water. And I know it's kind of a digital nomad cliche, working on a laptop on the beach, but it's something that kind of made it feel a little bit less like work, considering that I spend probably 40 hours a week at my desk. It's nice to go outside and enjoy the weather. That's where I actually wrote part of this script. So thank you to Málaga for inspiring me. So if you know me, you know I love food. I live to eat. Meals here aren't just about eating, it's about slowing down, sharing. Everybody gets tapas. Tapas culture is very much alive here. If you walk into a bar like La Tranca, it's a place that we came back in 2021. It's still in operation, and they're writing your checkout with chalk on the bar top, like they have been doing for many years. I went there for my birthday in September. Walls covered in old record sleeves. The bartenders are shouting orders around. It's very lively, very loud, a little chaotic. The food is awesome. I had snails, patatas bravas, pimientos de padrón, some vermouth, definitely. That place is kind of like the energy of Spain distilled down into one room. Then there's the central market, Mercado de Atrasanas. Big market, everything you could think of. Fruit stacked high at the stalls. We got olives everywhere. Tons of olives. All different types of meat. Every piece of the animal you can find there. Fish on ice, shrimp, cheese. The atmosphere is pretty intense. The smells are intense. People are yelling out from their stalls, different prices and deals, trying to get your attention. There's locals doing their normal shopping, and then there's also many tourists that are wide-eyed in the midst of culture shock. You can eat there as well. There's lots of different restaurants that line the south and east sides of the building. It's also something to mention is that it's not always a drinking culture. And I feel like a lot of people use the cliche of it being a drinking culture as an excuse to come here and get loaded by 11 o'clock in the morning. Spain is actually one of the highest consumers of non-alcoholic beer in Europe. So if you're pregnant or doing the healthy lifestyle thing, they've been pretty inventive when it comes to providing a solution for you. It's very affordable to eat out. Agustina and I went to a local spot outside of the city center to have lunch. We both had a 3-course meal and drinks, and we spent 24 euros. Tipping is not really that common either here, so it's not like you spend a whole lot of money on tips. You pay more when you get international foods like smash burgers and things like that. If there's one thing that people know how to do here, it is celebrate. Every August, Malaga throws its feria, at least a week-long festival. Music, food, flamenco, dancing in the streets, traditional dresses, and a lot of drinking, which I also joined in on. From here. It's very sweet. But enough about that. Daytime in the historic center is packed full of people partying. At night, Real de Cortijo de Torres fairgrounds are full of casetas, all these different places that are like bars and restaurants where people go and dance, party, have fun, and enjoy the celebration. Day 2 for us going there. We're gonna go there, check it out. There's free concerts, all different types of stuff going on at this time. The feria is pretty cool to see. You know, it's not just that one event. There are processions and neighborhood parties, art fairs, and all different types of things. It seems like there's always something happening. The free concerts don't only happen during the feria. There's a place here in the city where throughout the year they have public events from different organizations. There's a really deep-rooted culture here. And not just that, you know, neighborhood culture. The feeling of community exists here that brings the city together. The history and architecture are extremely important. Like I was saying, I went for a run the other day. I ran past the Roman theater that sits at the foot of the Alcazaba. This is a Moorish fortress that looks out over the city. A little further up is the Gibralfaro Castle, which I cannot pronounce. Has a panoramic view of everything. The harbor, the rooftops, the mountains beyond. And then there's the cathedral that I also ran past. It's called La Manquita, or the One-Armed Lady, built mostly between 1528 and 1782. With one tower left unfinished. Walking through these streets is humbling. Everywhere you look, there's proof that people have been living and building here for thousands of years. It kind of puts things in perspective. Life is short, but the things we create, whether it's art or architecture, can still make an impact on people for many years after we're gone. And that thought makes me want to make things that matter. There's definitely a solid art scene in Malaga as well. There's murals in the streets, street musicians and pop-up street performers in the plazas. They call Malaga the city of museums. There are around 30 to 40 museums and cultural spaces here, including the Carmen Thyssen Museum, Centre Pompidou Malaga, and the CAC, which is the Contemporary Art Center. It's Picasso's birthplace, in case you didn't know, and his childhood home is now a museum. The Picasso Museum, Malaga, another separate museum, holds more than 200 of his works. For somebody who went to school for art and have been involved in the arts my whole life, it's inspiring to live in a place where that's valued. I think there's a compounding effect. All these things are stacking on top of each other to make me feel more inspired The laid-back culture, the climate, the positive energy. There's a beautiful palette to be able to paint a painting, metaphorically, when it comes to video. It seems like people work to live. They don't live to work, which is more how it is in the United States. They seem to really enjoy their time outside of work. People move a little slower, but they spend a little bit more time eating out, socializing in the streets. A lot of places are still shut down for siesta between 2 and 5. Most places on Sundays are closed. Even grocery stores are closed. There's always a little bit of a reminder that you can't rush things because nobody else is rushing. So just take a deep breath, relax. Sometimes it can be frustrating, especially dealing with bureaucracy in the government that I thought was going to be easier than Italy has proven to be somewhat equal in that regard, at least for me. And there's a learning curve when you move to a different country. You have to get used to the way that they do things there. It's a very complex culture, also a culture that I've come to really appreciate. It's not just that, of course, living somewhere this beautiful can be distracting. It's like being back in school. It's a beautiful day outside and you're stuck inside, staring out the windows when you'd rather be outside, enjoying it. But it's also a little bit of a reminder when you're in a really beautiful place that you love to be, working becomes a little bit easier because you have reminders every day of what you're working for. This is a place where people seem to take their time for conversation, for food, for family, for art. And as somebody who's been moving around for a while, this is a place I'm very happy to be at. And I will continue to make more about this area and Spain. There'll be another episode on the Camino de Santiago that we did recently, where we did 115 kilometers in northern Spain, coming soon. Thank you for making it to the end, and consider watching this video here that covers our last step of moving from Italy to Spain. Hit the subscribe button here somewhere, and I'll see you very soon. All right, peace.